I think since we started talking about entrepreneurship and investment and specifically looking at the African youth, you and I are fully aware that that is the biggest resource that we have. And we've been working hard, very, very hard with my team on how exactly we make the African youth, the Africa's biggest resource, bankable. The issue we've had is there's a lot of narrative around how great the youth is and how we could use the youth in the future. But the problem seems to be, how does that actually translate in reality? How can we solve the problems that our youth have, such as unemployment in regions like South Africa is almost 50%, and the future challenges that we have, like artificial intelligence, and if indeed industrialization is the route to go. So there are a number of looming global as well as continental problems that we've been facing, but we're really looking at solving one problem, which is how do we actually bank on Africa's youth to have Africa lead the way, across continents.
Sean, recently Bill Gates had a keynote, and he did put very high praise on the continent's youthful population. But I'm of the view that if the old dogs are not ready to retire, I mean, I know a country where the president has been in power for over 30 years. Where does that leave the youth?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's an issue that we're still facing. But if you look at places like Nigeria, if you look at the bill that came in about the age limit as to how people can, the age at which you can run for political leadership, things are changing across the continent. And I think to some extent we need to exercise some patience to really look out in the future, given how young the continent is. A median age of 19, really the value is in the long term. However, also making sure that we take the short-term decisions to make sure we get to that long-term goal. But I think with a population over 60% of our population under the age of 25, things will change, and it's just a matter of time, and it's just a matter of taking the right strategic steps. And this platform is effectively mobilizing, bringing some of Africa's young and greatest entrepreneurs together to solve real issues that you could say the old dogs have somewhat failed to solve.
Yeah, got to bring back the old dogs there. Let's talk about that platform some more. This is, of course, the Investor Magnet platform. And just give us more of the schematics, how this works. Is it an app where people, that sources together entrepreneurs across the continent? And if so, is there a guarantee that if I have the next big idea like Amazon or Uber, someone like, let's say, a president out there won't take it and use it to benefit himself?
Yeah. So the practical element of it, yes, it will come in the form of an app, will come in the form of an online platform. And one of the most important things, and I'm glad you asked that question, one of the most important things is securing the talent, the ingenuity, and the game-changing ideas of Africa's youth. So the first and foremost thing that is done when an entrepreneur uploads an idea or a project or a proposal, it's immediately secured for the entrepreneur, so that they know that their idea is secured, and also gives them an opportunity for the idea to be seen by a wide range of stakeholders who can take their idea and further develop it into a reality, like financial investors, like strategic investors, and other service providers within that particular ecosystem. Furthermore to it, we are being very focused in the way we are solving some of the continent's biggest issues. And like that report that Bill Gates says, the two key areas we need to be looking at is healthcare and education. And this platform is designed exactly to do that.
Right. Before I let you go, the question of access to finance is one that really just impedes this entire conversation time and again. If at all the app is connecting the two parties here, is there a guarantee that there will be access to finance to start with? Are we saying maybe the birth of a Silicon Valley out there?
I tend to avoid making direct comparisons like that, given how many years Silicon Valley has had in terms of technological advancement and where we are on the continent. But what I will say is that moving forward, what we need to, what we are looking at doing is, access to finance happens, over a period of time. You've got the very short-term need for finance, which is one of the reasons why this platform is very attractive. So, for instance, I know if you were to put one of your, ingenious ideas onto the platform, immediately you get compensated for that, and then as you go and develop the idea, we incentivize you to go and further develop the idea. Of course, you get incentivized at various stages. We've got typically 7 stages to the process, and the whole idea is to have it be fun, have entrepreneurs learn, as well as earn while they develop the ideas, which there isn't really a solution there now that compensates entrepreneur for purely their ideas from the inception stage. They only get compensated towards the end once it's fully developed. Unfortunately, some of the entrepreneurs don't get the opportunity, don't have the access to capital, like you said, to further develop it. So we need to make sure that we capture these, ideas, we capture and cultivate the talent of the continent, and that is what is going to make our youth actually bankable in the eyes of the continent as well as the world.